Okay, welcome. Today we're going to be doing a quick review of a game I recently played, and the game we're going to be talking about is Batman Arkham Asylum on the PlayStation 3. Now, I had a lot of time to play this game, and I played it completely through, all the way, which is about, I spent about 20 to 25 hours playing the game. And, well, my impression of the game is overall, it was a good game. Not a great game. I think the hype for this game was a little too much because the game didn't live up to it. And I'm going to tell you why. I felt like the strong points of the game were not the most important parts of the game. For instance, what you would consider to be the most important part of any game is the gameplay. And Batman Arkham Asylum didn't really have much intuitive gameplay. In other words, um, the environments weren't very interactive, and so on and so forth. The, the enemy AI was lacking. At times they were too aggressive, and at other times they were like sheep. So to top it off, on top of that, I was really unimpressed with the gameplay because Batman just didn't have hardly anything he could do. I mean, you're playing as Batman, you would think you'd be able to do things like use smoke bombs or camouflage and hide in the shadows or something like that. And Batman really didn't have any of those abilities. He was pretty much limited to hanging upside down from a gargoyle and then uh, sweeping his opponent up, tying him up by the legs and dropping him, and throwing batarangs and things of that nature. But you were pretty at a disadvantage compared to all the enemies with guns that could literally gun you down and, in a blink of an eye. I mean, especially if you play the game on hard. Uh, Now there was a number of ways you could take out enemies. Some of them were creative, but there's just not enough. I mean, there could have been a lot more done in this game. There should have been. Uh, the potential was there, and I was really looking forward to playing a great game. But instead, I just got a pretty game. You know, the graphics were really nice and shiny, and everything was spot on. The textures, everything was smooth. The animation looked great. You can really tell where the team put all their hours into. The storyline was excellent. I loved the way the characters were portrayed, the development. Um, of course, the voice acting was phenomenal. The script writing of the game, all of that was superior. And I really enjoyed that. I mean, any fan of Batman can see that this game is way above any other Batman game in terms of cinematography and all of that. But on top of that, it's a game. First and foremost, it's a video game, and it should have an emphasis on gameplay. And really, there's not enough fun to be had. I mean, it's pretty much a beat 'em up with some stealth portions of the game. Um, Really, that's all there is to it. I kept playing the game and hoping that it would change and that things would get um, more creative. I'd have to use my weapons more creatively, and get more power ups and weapons and stuff like that. But that never happened. It was pretty much the same game throughout the entire 12 hours. The bosses were disappointing. Other than well, there's not very many bosses in the game, but the ones that were there were pretty much the same, with the exception of Poison Ivy, which was pretty interesting. Um, so I like the game. I like the game. With the game, the controls are pretty simple. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. You can walk, you can run, you can crouch, and you can quick throw. Quick throw is basically you tap the L1 button and he throws a battering extremely fast and it auto targets the closest enemy. Kind of like in Ninja Gaiden, where you can throw shurikens at people. What else? That's it. That's basically it. You can run, and by running, he jumps. So you're not really making him jump. He's kind of auto jumping. Um, and the right analog stick is used to control the camera freely, which is kind of nice. But other than that, there's no actions. There's no maneuverability. I mean, he can't barrel roll. He can't backflip. He's not very acrobatic, except when he starts fighting. He gets more acrobatic. But I'm kind of disappointed in the game, in the engine, in the fighting engine. And you should really be able to pick up weapons. I mean, you see the enemies attack you with baseball bats and stun batons and all that stuff, and you should just be able to pick it up off the ground and use it. I don't see why not. It's a very simple mechanic that they could have just added to the game. It would have made it so much better. Pretty much any beat 'em up uses that and needs that in order to be successful. And it wasn't there. I was so disappointed. I'd also love to be able to see Batman, jump kick an enemy without having to go into a fist combo first. Just more options. You should be able to throw a boomerang, a batarang, and wrap around their legs and pull them, something like that. You didn't really have any of those options, and that was the biggest disappointment. I'm a huge fan of the beat 'em up genre. I wish they'd totally bring that back, and they could really do it justice with the graphics nowadays and the processing capabilities. Get some two-player co-op in there would be great. I didn't get a chance to play as the Joker. I kind of had to return the game, but I would have liked to play as the Joker. I think it would have been surprising and interesting. I wonder what kind of moves he has, but I doubt he's any different from Batman. I'm sure he's pretty much the same thing. He's just kind of like an additional character that they've added on just for fun. But anyway, that's kind of a nice feature with the PlayStation 3. Really looking back on it, I think that Batman Arkham Asylum deserves a 7.5 out of 10. I mean, that's pretty much the best you can give it, I think. Unless you're in love with Batman and you're just head over heels about it. It doesn't have much to offer. It's kind of like a second-ass Metal Gear Solid, so to speak, with a few elements of platforming and Prince of Persia style action. It sort of mixes up the gameplay a little bit, but it's so basic. It's just really disappointing that they didn't include a lot of innovation. Or much innovation at all, really. There's a bunch of characters, and there's all these pickups that you can get and find little trophies and sort of like side quests. But it's not all that interesting. It doesn't offer much for replay ability, but there are leaderboards if you go into challenge mode after you beat the game. It's basically you either go for a points high score or time trial. Try to get it done as fast as you can. There's some stiff competition online. The scores are pretty high. It's tough to get a good spot on the ranking. But yeah, Batman Arkham Asylum. Hey, my favorite character was Killer Croc. He looked cool. I don't know if you could actually call him a boss, but hey, he was there. He was cool, but they could have done a lot more with him too. They put a lot of villains in the game. Not all the villains are there, but most of them are there, and the ones that aren't in it, they have at least a mention. You can find clues that reference them. It's pretty neat. It's worth playing. I'd definitely give it a rental. I don't know about buying it though, unless you're seriously hardcore about the Batman franchise. But overall, it just wasn't as good as people say it is and people thought it was going to be. So really, I don't know what else to say. I'm looking forward to the sequel. I hope they improve a lot of things. There's much more to expand on. And hopefully the next time anyone develops a Batman game, they'll take a cue from this and and step it up a notch. That's what I look forward to seeing. All right, that was your review. I hope you enjoyed it.